Hakuna mali, anakuwa 200. Mgonjwa anamaliza. Hata hiyo njaa, wakati hakuna majani.
Ole Manyas's family is experiencing the effects of drought in what is now common in many homes, not only in the Laikipia Maasai community, but also in Samburu and Isiolo counties.
They don't be able to sustain their livestock economy. People are just sitting idle in settlements because the water is not there.
It is in 1994 that we saw some of the country's worst droughts. And from then, the flow has never been normal again for nearly a straight 13 years. People have been receiving relief food.
Most families in the 3 counties located in northern Kenya are currently not in a position to feed themselves.
Sasa zamani Ewaso tuko na mamisito hapa. Wakati sisi tuko wadogo. Sasa saa hii Jelali amemaliza hiyo misito mpaka inakuwa sasa mbugani kama saa hii miti moja tu ndio kubwa iko karibu na Ewaso.
Translated from Maasai to mean the brown water, major sources of Ewaso Nyiro are the melting glaciers found in the western part of Mount Kenya and the Aberdare range of mountains from Nyandarua County.
We used to experience a drought from 1984 to 1994, those are like 10 years period. But now it has gone down to 7 to 6 years.
With support from the Partners for Resilience program, Impact, Indigenous Movement for Peace Advancement and Conflict Transformation, is implementing a project aimed at promoting sustainable livelihoods through improved management, protection and utilization of wetland resources, mainly in the Upper and Mid Ewaso Ngiro basin.
The flow is not as good as it was before. The grazing areas, particularly the flood plains and the grazing resources, is also dwindling.
We paid visits to several places where the 2 main water towers are found. In both locations, we found large settlement schemes where thousands of people on daily basis are involved in all manner of agricultural activities.
What is behind me is Mount Kenya. The work we do here is basically farming.
Located on the slopes of the Aberdare, Lake Olobolosat is the main source in what was hundreds of years ago a basin that was used by nomadic pastoralists.
Hapa juu ni plains. Sasa maji wakati mvua inanyesha sana, ni lazima iteremke, inateremka hapa, halafu ina consolidate. Kuna wakati inakuja mpaka inaguza hii fence iko hapa. Inaitwa Duthi River na ni mto kidogo sana. It is the main stream that feeds this lake.
Other water catchments like this one, next to a residential area not far from the lake, is not secured either. Human beings and cattle roam in this catchment area at will, and in the process pollute water here.
There's a high level of pollution going on. Since there are houses and people throw a lot of papers, a lot of dust just next to the wetland. Also the houses, people have erected houses next to that wetland.
This is Gatambara Springs, located on the slopes of the Aberdare Mountains, where we found these pipes tapping water to irrigate numerous farms downstream.
Wakati huu tuna offer 1000 connections. Maji yetu yametoka huko juu kwa Aberdares.
We have surveyed this river from the Aberdares to the confluence of Nanyuki River. And we were shocked that by the time you get to Asher's Post, there is no water.
The water that manages to flow into Ewaso Nyiro River is also threatened by activities in areas where communities are already suffering. Multiple sources confirm that a private ranch in Laikipia is generating power without following laid-down procedures. This is another example of a large-scale farm at Ngari Nyiro that we found drawing huge amounts of water in total disregard of other users downstream. We captured the following scenes along the Ewaso Nyiro River and its tributaries. People were either bathing or washing clothes just next to water sources. Ewaso Nyiro North Catchment Area has experienced extensive degradation in the past as a result of deforestation, encroachment into water catchment areas, cultivation in wetlands, and overgrazing.
The biggest challenge is talking to people to convince them, to organize them, to register them, so that we can control the abstraction.
Women and young girls, who are the major role players in accessing and carrying water, are prevented from doing income-generating work or attending school, as the majority of their day is often spent walking long distances for their daily water needs. Women and girls are also at an increased risk for violence since they travel such great distances from their villages on a daily basis.
Sasa unajua ukibeba hii mitungi zote, ukienda kulala unasikia maumivu huko kote, kifua. Tuka hiyo.
Vision 2030 is Kenya's long-term development blueprint to create a globally competitive and prosperous nation with a high quality of life within the next 16 years. Among the projects is the construction of mega dams in various places in the country. Among those locations is this place, which is along Ewaso Nyiro River.
The environmental impact assessment was not participatorily done.
What they are proposing this mega dam is to put a very big wall that can take about 1 year and some months for it to fill and overflow. If we put this wall and we block water Ewaso Nyiro, what will happen to their livelihood or to the vegetation or to the wildlife or the people living behind that wall?
This is an annual general meeting of Ngushishi Water Resource Users Association in Timau, one of the settlements in the Upper Ewaso Ngiro catchment area.
Kwa sasa, shifti moja inapata maji saa 12 mpaka saa 6, na hiyo ingine, sehemu hiyo ingine wanapata kutoka saa 6 mpaka saa 12.
The main aim of such an organization is to institute management controls, plan for the development of resources, promote dialogue among water users, and ensure reasonable flows for upstream and downstream users.
Without Ruwa, our life was very miserable because we used to have conflicts among ourselves, the downstream, middle stream, and upstream.
Water Act 202, it says that we should leave the normal flow so that it can go and corrode with other rivers, so that our friends from down Ewaso Nyiro River also can get water.
This is a farm in Ngushishi, and produce here are watered using drip irrigation, also known as trickle irrigation.
Inatumia maji kidogo na mazao yake ni mzuri sana.
Apart from growing various types of vegetables, there are fish ponds, beehives, livestock such as cows and goats, rabbits and chickens.
The purpose of using water prudently, efficiently is to change people's lives. So you can see they're using it on agricultural farms, and it is through these agricultural farms they can get their produce, sell their produce. Through this management, you see, it has to change people's life and change the community at large and the nation at large.
Saa hii maji ikifika kwa hii mawe, mimi nitalima shamba nyuma ya hii mamiti.
Greenhousing, an efficient use of land for producing fresh vegetables using less water, is another initiative that the locals need to think of seriously. With this type of agriculture, they will be able to grow a variety of crops in such climate to improve on their health at the family level and also sell the surplus.
How can they have alternative livelihood instead of just depending on this cow, on this camel, on this sheep? Can they shift in and do also some cultivation along the Ewaso Nyiro River when there is a plenty of water?
Commercial beekeeping for honey and fish farming are other projects that can also generate income to most communities in the 3 counties. Investing in large storage tanks should also be highly encouraged.
Mwanzo tungetaka hii spring ya Gadhabara iwe protected, at least iwe fenced off. Miti unaona sasa miti imeanza kukatakatwa hapa.
First thing that can help us is to protect the catchment areas so that we do not lack water even during the drought season. When our catchment areas is protected, we are guaranteed that we'll get water even during the drought season.
There is adequate for everybody. Only if we come together as stakeholders and we organize.